I'm so excited to welcome you to yet another promising session of my weekly price action based technical analysis. In this video, we will be diving into an insightful analysis of the gold spot commodity through a comprehensive price action perspective. And we are also going to be exploring the recent movements and chart patterns to uncover key insights that can potentially shape our trading decision ahead of the new week. And since this is going to be a follow up detail to my previous analysis, I would like to share with you some of the key moments we had during the previous week before we delve into the details or our preparation for the new week. So, talking about last week's trading session, we had this situation at the beginning of the week. So, this was my first commentary where I was able to identify a simple flat channel where the week started on a bearish note with a bearish trend line to help us guide our trading activity. But something interesting happened later on that day as we saw how the 1940 became a strong demand zone for the week, which led into our first buy position after price action broke out of the 1944 level to the upside. And we were able to take advantage of more opportunities as we saw price action break out of key levels, as you can see on your screen. And I think on the 6th of June, I think that was on Tuesday, we begin to see some selling pressure here before we saw the breakout of the 1963, giving us another opportunity to buy before price action later broke down the 1963 to trigger our sell stop order, giving us a sell position at that point. So it was quite a little bit of a choppy situation during the midweek, and not until on the 8th, we also were able to identify a simple setup on the 15 minutes time frame where we saw this range identified, and coupled with that temporary bullish trend line, we were anticipating a buy position after if price will break out of the 1948. And with a buy stop order above that level, we saw the buy position triggered, and it was at this point we had another wave of buying opportunity. So it was quite a profitable trade for us last week on the gold spot. And if you do want to review these commentaries on your own, you will find the link to this commentary in the description box of this current video. And for if you are watching this from my YouTube channel, you will definitely be seeing the link to this commentary at the top right hand side of your screen. So with that being said here, let's dive back into the chart. And on the 4 hours time frame, I was able to identify a simple setup that we are going to be using to guide our trading activity for the week. And one thing I did here was to take into consideration price action activity since the beginning of the month of May. And one interesting thing that you will observe here is that price action has been on a bearish turn, as we have been seeing a situation where price action had continued to find lower highs in this market. And to further emphasize the strength of the sellers, I have a couple of trend lines that we are going to be using to guide our trading activity for the week. So I have one here. I also have another one at this point in time where price action is currently trading at. And there's another one here which was broken a couple of times during the course of last week. So besides this trend line here, another key important um, note here is how price action has been consolidating between the 1980. This happened since the second week of the month of May. We saw how price action had remained um, trapped within the range between the 1980 and the 1940, which reveals the level of indecision in this market. And with the situation we have here, how do we intend to take advantage of a trading opportunity in the coming week? Well, one thing I was able to spot here was a zone between the 1965 and the 1960, which has been a major determinant of price action since the second half of the month of May. And if you look at this levels, this zone closely, you will see how this zone rather, has been a major determinant of price action. Look at what happened here. This level was a zone, sorry, was a demand zone. And right here again, it was a demand zone before we saw price action broke down, retest the structure during this last week of the month of May. And then at the beginning of this month, we saw the breakout of the structure again. We saw the breakdown happen here. And then throughout the course of last week, we saw how that zone had been a strong selling niche in this market. So it is very important that we take the zone into consideration while we continue to monitor price action ahead of the new week. So what I'm going to be doing here is to try and see how price action will be reacting to the zone at the beginning of the week to decide what our next line of action will be. And if price action breaks out of the 1965 to the upside significantly, well, that is price action closes above that level, followed by continued buy pressure above this area, this will be an opportunity to buy the XAUUSD to the upside. And if price action further breaks out of the 1980, we want to be looking out for more opportunity. However, if the sell pressure here continues in such a way that we see price action find multiple rejection of this area, that is the inability of buyers to break above the structure continues, then at this point we want to consider selling the XAUUSD where depending on how price action reacts to the 1940 will determine if we are going to be buying again as this level has been a strong demand zone or a breakdown of that area will welcome an opportunity to sell. So this is what we shall be looking at on the XAUUSD for this week. So it's quite a simple setup we have here on this commodity. So we are going to be looking forward to see how participants in this market will be reacting to the zone at the beginning of the week to determine what our next line of action will be. I do hope this video has been of immense help in making your independent decision on the gold spot commodity. And if it did, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. Your likes are indeed valuable and they help the video reach more people who may find it beneficial as well. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you will be notified whenever I upload new videos, ensuring that you never miss out on the latest updates in the financial market. I wish you a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye bye.